Yo, what's good? Today we gotta be unboxing the BX-16 random booster. This is not volume 2, because as you see, the Shark Edge random booster was volume 1, and it had like around 6 different blades that you could get, as well as Shark Edge, the prize bay. But then with the ViperTail set, all 3 bays have the ViperTail prize blade. It's just the parts that are different. So this is kind of like a short random booster, if you will. I'm not going to go over the parts of all the Beyblades, just the parts of the main Beyblade. So, ViperTail, 580, Orb, and this Beyblade in the manga and anime soon is owned by Toguro Okinawa. I think that's how you say his name. So yeah, before we open the main Beyblade, we're going to go ahead and open the 2 recolors that you get in this random booster. Now that I see the bit, I think what it is that they just put a random Beyblade in here, because I thought this had the prize Beyblade in it, but this is the prize Beyblade right here. And I'll go over the parts once I get them all opened. So here is everything for the main, like the prize Beyblade. It is ViperTail, which looks really nice with the scales in the background of it, or in whatever this is. Zoom in action. And if you look closely, the whole gimmick, quote-unquote gimmick, with this Beyblade is the downward points right here. Are kind of like fangs of a snake with venom in them. So when they hit another Beyblade, they're supposed to kind of go downward and drain the stamina from that Beyblade. My English is not good today. Next, we have a brand new part, 580. Some people thought 580 was going to be worse than something like 460, because 460's problem is that it has more points than 360, and so it can burst easier or get hit easier. But with the 5 ratchets, they made it more rounded. So when the Beyblade makes contact, it's less likely to burst, which is a really good thing. And lastly, Orb right here, which is kind of like just a mini ball, which if you look at the actual ball, you can see the difference. So yeah, let's put this together. Man, that looks really nice. It's kind of like Spider-Man colors, the blue and the red. Let's move on to the next one. And I also forgot to look at this right here. I don't care about any of that. What we care about is this right here, Drawn Dagger and Hell's Chain, which release, I believe, on November 2nd. And then also in November, we're getting Rhino Horn, which if you read the manga, you'll know what that is. I'm going to make a video about all 3 of these, so watch it, please. Let's get into this. So it seems that this one is going to be the yellow recolor of ViperTail. This is 380, a little yellow recolor. And the blade. So let's go down by part. So we have this. I actually think this looks pretty nice. It is a yellow recolor of the ViperTail blade. I don't like this kind of like mustardy yellow color, but it's still gold nonetheless. I like this clear yellowish color more. So here's a comparison to the actual ViperTail blade. Then we have this 360. It looks pretty nice, especially makes the bottom part of it look better. And then you get a nice high needle, which originally released on Night Lance. Put that together. And here is the Beyblade. So finally, this right here should be the black recolor. So let's go ahead and open that up. The bit already came out. There's the ratchet. And the blade. So let's go over it. Here is the very nice black recolor of ViperTail with this kind of like pinkish red color in the middle that I really like. Sadly, on the bottom of it, you can't really see the scales as much, but you can see them on the top a little bit. Oh, and here's the comparison between the normal ViperTail, comparison between the yellow ViperTail. Next up for the ratchet, it is 460. So by the height, you can already tell what type this is going to be. An attack type. It has flat, which originally released on Drawn Sword, which is very nice. I think it would have been better if it came with low flat, but if I'm not mistaken, we might already have a black low flat recolor from the previous random booster. I'm not sure on that. So here it is, our attack type ViperTail. So in this set, you get an attack type, a stamina type, and a defense type. Real quick, one thing I wanted to point out is that in Beyblade X, they're not going to be able to do gimmicks like Fafnir or El Drago's spin stealing with the rubber, because how fast these X-Bays go and the fact that they're made of metal, rubber is just going to chip off very easily, I think. Which means that they can't do Fafnir spin stealing, but with ViperTail, his gimmick is to drain his opponent's spin by chipping away at their stamina. So I think that's really cool that ViperTail is kind of like the modern day version of El Drago or Fafnir, if you will. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. As for the meta or competitive scene of ViperTail, I believe he could be used well in balance or attack type combos due to this kind of more aggressive shape that they gave it. Kind of like, you know, you had Death Scyther back then in Burst, which had a very round design, so people used it for stamina or defense instead of balance. And then you had Ragnarok, which had an aggressive design, so they used it for attack and balance combos. I think that's what people are going to do with ViperTail. They're going to turn it into an attack type. Before we move on to the test battles and test spins, we should also weigh the Beyblades. The main prize Beyblade, the parts weigh 36 grams for the blade, 8 grams for the ratchet, 2 grams for orb, the bit. Put it together. And it weighs a total of 43 grams compared to Wizard Arrow, which weighed 41 grams, so it's a little bit heavier than other stamina types we have so far, like Wizard Arrow. Moving on to the yellow recolor, 35 grams for the blade, 8 grams for the ratchet, and 2 grams for the bit, high needle. Put it together. And it weighs 44 grams. Lastly, the black recolor, 34 grams for the blade, 7 grams for the ratchet, 6 or 7 grams I mean. The bit is 3 grams. Put it all together and it weighs 43 grams. Let's do some test spins and test battles. First up, let's test spin the yellow ViperTail, the defense one. The black ViperTail, the attack type. Very nice. And the actual ViperTail, the stamina type. This will also let us see what orb performs like in the stadium. I feel like it has more stamina than the ball bit. Let me test that real quick. So here is Wizard Arrow with ball. Yeah, ball moves around a little bit more, probably because it has more surface area on the bit. Now let's do some test battles with all 3 of the Beyblades. The combo I have made for him to go up against is Night Lance 360 ball, so a stamina type. Let's do this. Night Lance versus black ViperTail. ViperTail with a knockout finish. Night Lance versus yellow ViperTail. Night Lance wins with a knockout finish. And lastly, Night Lance versus the main ViperTail. Let's see if his gimmick works to drain away Night Lance's stamina. ViperTail won very fast with a knockout finish. Round 2. 3, 2, 1, go shoot. Go shoot. Night Lance wins with a spin finish. Round 3. Go shoot. And the winner is ViperTail with a spin finish. Now, Leon Claw, as you know, there was a delay due to a typhoon in Hong Kong. So, Leon Claw will get here a little bit later probably, but I'm still going to unbox it. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.